water or I mean,
Many years ago when I was doing the martial arts instructing, it was Wado-ryu style karate, which has kind of, and I've always wanted to visit Japan. I've got some friends down here as well, so popped over, thought I'd walk around, see what's going on.
that sounds like such a colonial thing to say. I just thought I would
I realized
I'm just going to pop in and
I
see
had
what
to
these
see
people
how they
are
were doing. No British flags anywhere. That's terrible. My horse is outside.
Yeah,
I've got the
it does-
bayonets
it does
ready.
doing
You've had it
over
too
there.
good for too long. Do you know about the Queen? No, terrible news, that one.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Trash Taste. I'm your host for today, Garge. Joining me once again are the boys, and we have
hello.
a special guest today. Josh, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes. I'm a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, content creator. I've been an actor, a teacher, a martial arts instructor, a paintball marshal, a trampoline party host. I can keep going. There's more.
Your voice is already butter to my ear. This is going to be a very easy 2 hours. But cheers, we have some narc.
That dropped.
I didn't say anything on
It's
Yeah.
a good start. It's an excellent
It's-
start
Well,
already.
obviously
What a
to those
great
who
start.
aren't familiar, your main thing now is YouTube, right? And mainly MMOs
Yes.
and retro games.
Yes, so my main channel, Josh Strife Hayes, specializes in MMORPGs, massively multiplayer online role-playing games. So World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online, all that jazz. I have a long-running series called Worst MMO Ever, where I try and find the worst possible MMOs and play them for as long as it takes to really judge them and get a feel for them.
Right.
And my latest series is called 100 Hours In, where I take a popular MMORPG and play it for 100 hours, because people keep saying to me, it gets better 100 hours in. I'm like, okay, bet, let's do
You
it.
drop the word 100 hours so casually, like it's
Yeah.
nothing. Like
That's a lot of time.
That is a lot of time.
Thank you. I'm glad that you understand
that's
that.
like 4.5 days.
It really is.
Persona is considered an extremely long game,
Yes.
and that
Yeah.
takes 80 hours on
Yeah.
60, right? That's
no, it's like 100.
I think
it can be 100, depending on
Yeah.
how many side quests you do.
This is one of the warped ideals that the MMORPG genre has really driven in. For 100 hours, they come back with, that's nothing. I played it for 1,000,
Yeah.
2,000, 10,000. Get back to me when you've played it for 5 years of
they
your actual
played
life.
nothing else.
Exactly.
They have no frame of
That's-
reference.
That's what I try and explain to
Yeah.
people. If you have just played one game for several thousand hours, as long as you've had fun, great.
Yeah.
But don't think that that gives you a broad overview. I bring to the table is a broad overview without necessarily having hyper-specific knowledge of each game.
Yeah.
And that is sometimes to my detriment. People will say, well, you've got it kind of right, but you've missed this.
But I think, it's like being a game review. You've played a lot of games. You offer a more, like you said, a broad perspective on these kind of things. I played Final Fantasy Online.
Which is a famous game for like not be getting good until at least like
100 hours in.
Another thing that I encountered a lot where, people were very excited for me to play it. They were like, oh my God, he's going to play it. And, the fans of that game love it. Everyone said the same thing. A Realm Reborn, which is like the first major act of this game.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like, it's completely garbage. You need to get through it.
Yes.
How long do you think it takes?
I was told 60 hours.
It's like 50, 60 hours.
Okay,
It's
okay.
ridiculous. Do you know how crazy that's video games? That you need to get 60 hours of a game before it starts
Imagine
to get good?
if you were to say to someone, hey, this TV show gets good in season
7.
7, season 8, but keep watching it because it's totally worth it. I'm thinking maybe we could just cut seasons 1 through 6.
Yeah,
maybe we could
yeah.
just start where it gets good. I
Yeah.
like Final Fantasy 14. I went to the Eorzea Cafe.
Right.
Beautiful place, fantastic food.
I've been like 3 times to that cafe. It's ridiculous.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it's great.
But again, you are pointing out the MMORPG mindset of it's okay to go through this dire, terrible, rubbish experience because the end is worth it. And there's almost a level of prestige that comes with trudging
Yeah.
through that
Yeah.
sludge.
You're a
I
real
did
gamer.
that.
You're
There
patient.
is, it's a badge of honor to say, well, I've experienced all the terribleness, therefore you must as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's
Which is
holding
not
it
a
back.
way to get
Well,
someone
it's
into a
not.
game.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
not.
listen,
No.
they sound like they're hostage when they talk about it. to
Yeah,
me.
it is Stockholm
Because they're like,
syndrome,
no,
isn't
but
it?
the
Yeah.
Dawnbreaker,
Yeah.
they're like, this is amazing, and I'm like, okay, when do I get to? Oh, 400 hours. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is amazing once you have invested 400 hours into
Of course.
garbage. Then it's really good compared to that.
But I'm sure I would say the same about like taking edibles. Like
Yeah,
if I
anything.
had 400 hours worth of it, I would think that
It
it's
was
really
an edible
nuanced,
experience.
You know, so I feel like.
Yeah.
To that extent. And then also the work remade the first part of Final Fantasy XIV, I think twice.
Several times now, several
Yeah.
changes. They've cut down quests.
And it's still very bad.
Yes.
I did finish it. So just finished
Yeah.
around. Well, not just finished, but
How many streams did it take?
3 14-hour streams to beat A Realm Reborn, and that was
Okay.
with me not reading a single dialogue.
You're just space barring through it,
Because
focusing,
it-
pressing on.
The thing I learned pretty quickly is that it was pretty hard to sit through it, and
your stream was
everyone
okay with that?
They wanted me to skip. They were begging me. the Final Fantasy fans were like, "You got to skip this. This is
shit's ass."
This is nonsensical." Because they also then recast and redid all the voice acting after this part. So
Right.
it's almost a different game, but you just learn these abilities that you press all the combos in the same fashion. I'm not very good at MMOs, so you're looking at me and all the battleground noise in your head are going off. And
No,
you're-
not at all. MMOs are about having fun. They're an online adventure with friends. If you have to be exceptionally good at them for them to be enjoyable, then that's a game design problem. You
Right.
can approach a game that you are bad at and have a really good time in. I'm
okay.
bad at lots of games, but as long as I'm playing them with friends, I'm playing them with a group of people, then it's a really good time. And I think you hit on a really nice note when you said that chat were begging you to skip.
Yeah.
The problem I see with MMORPGs is people try and force several players who want different experiences
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
play together. Some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
want the narrative, some people want the mechanics, some people want the PvP, some people want the PvE. And when you force everyone to go through the same adventure, you end up forcing people to experience aspects of the game they do not like. And that's why people say, oh, this game isn't for me because it's made me do something I don't want to do. If you want to skip things, the game should still be mechanically good, really interesting.
Right.
Yeah, he's being very polite here, but we don't skip story here, right, Joey?
Well, you guys don't
We've
play.
had several
they don't play-
disagreements.
They don't play MMOs, and I
Yeah.
feel like with MMOs, sometimes
Okay.
the writing isn't as conducive.
Okay,
let me
I have
defend
also
myself.
I have also played 20 hours of Realm Reborn, and
You have?
I have.
When?
Yes, like ages ago.
Oh, God.
I mean, part of the reason I
So you booted up the game.
Yes, so I booted up the game essentially, and I do understand it in Realm Reborn
have
because
to.
it is hard. It is hard.
My defense with 14, I haven't played 14 yet, not because I don't want to. It's because I know that if I get into it and my past love for every other mainline Final Fantasy, I'm probably going to be obsessed with it. And the problem is I just don't have the time to be obsessed with it right
Yeah.
now. I've got like stuff to do.
Spot on. Stuff to do. That is
Exactly.
what I think a
Yeah.
lot of people fall down on with the MMORPG becoming not only someone's game, but also someone's life,
Yeah,
someone's
yeah.
personality. That's part of the danger of me reviewing MMORPGs. When I say this game is bad, people don't hear this game is bad.
You've challenged their
They
life.
hear you are wrong. Your personality is bad. Your hobby is stupid. Their lives, their
Yeah.
personalities.
Yeah.
I mean, the Final Fantasy 14, I was blown away by the mechanic of you can, on your player card, you can say the hours you're online during the week. Like you can, you can say
Like a time card.
you say,
Yeah, no, it is.
I'm on like 8 to 10 every weekday.
It's like a
I'm
stream schedule.
It is.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you join a high-ranking guild
Oh,
in
yeah,
a
you have to,
high-ranking
yeah.
MMORPG, people will say to me, right, I need your time on this day to this day. And I'm thinking, hang on, I haven't signed up for a second job.
Yeah.
I just want to jump on.
Like, are you locking in this time?
Have a little bit of fun and play off. But that is the difference between the
Yeah.
online kind of social sphere that EverQuest was and the more group finder focused games that MMORPGs are today.
So
Right.
okay, so let's. When did you first get into MMOs and reviewing them? How did this all come about?
Yeah.
So I was an actor full-time before COVID shut the theatres down. What happens, I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I've been in situations where people have said, hey, do you want a job? And I've just said yes. And I was lucky enough
The
to go
trampoline
through
job.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the trampoline
I was
job.
a party host at a trampoline park. So have you been to a trampoline park? I was the guy who got costume of the big trampoline and used to just do front flips and back flips on the major
Hell
trampoline.
yeah.
That was
Hell
my
yeah.
job for a while. It was
Hell
great.
yeah.
Whenever I arrived to work, everyone was like, who wants to wear the mascot costume? And everyone else was too cool to do it. And I was like, me, I'll do it. Put the mascot costume on me. I will flip around. This is great.
Yeah.
And I was a go-kart mechanic for a bit, martial arts instructor for a bit. But what I would do from all of these jobs is I would come home and I would play online games. RuneScape, bit of World of Warcraft, bit of Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2. This was my kind of escape from the world, my relaxation into a big virtual world. My acting career was going relative in film and TV stuff, nothing major, but paying the bills. And then COVID hit and shut all the theaters down.
Right.
I came home from a rehearsal one day and just thought, right, my income stream has dried up now. I need to go and start teaching, acting, teaching, performing. And I was still making YouTube videos at this time of me just playing games for fun. Didn't expect anything to come of it. Then I was playing a game called Neverwinter Online, which is an old Dungeons and Dragons action game. And I was stuck on a boss. I could not find a guide for how to kill this boss. And I thought, I can teach acting, I can probably teach video games.
Yeah.
So I made a guide on how to beat this boss in Neverwinter. It was very basic, one take, didn't understand editing software at the time, camera setup, I just go through the in-game dungeon, make more of them. Started making more, they did pretty well.
Yeah.
While I was doing this, I was looking for other games, and I kept getting these banner ads around the side of my browser for a game called Everly. And it was, "Help me, my lord, the angels are in trouble," big busty woman on the advert. "You must click here, you must help out." And I thought, this is obviously just bait.
Yeah.
But,
I'm in.
Yes.
well, what I actually thought was, how bad can this be?
Yeah.
And that's when I
Yeah.
realized that people love terrible things. People love the morbid
Yeah.
curiosity of what is bad, but nobody wants to download it because nobody wants to give their computer all of the viruses.
Yep.
And I thought, that's fine, I'll do that. There's nothing important on here. So I downloaded a game called League of Angels, which is a
I've
terrible
heard of
game.
that.
It's awful. It's
Oh my God.
absolutely awful.
I remember seeing those
we pull
ads.
up a
Like,
screenshot of it?
You've
I
seen
have
the ads.
seen the ads.
You've seen the ads.
Have you
Look
seen
for
this?
League
of
Angels.
Angels.
This is like full-
There's League of Angels,
Yeah.
Heaven's Fury.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
League
this
of
one.
Angels 3.
League of Angels sounds like
League
a
of
League of
Angels.
Angels sounds like a game that like your grandma would be like, "Are you playing that League of
Yeah,
Angels
Look,
game?"
this is the kind of ad that you would find
that-
on
it's autoplay.
websites that
I hate these kind of
are
top
very
down,
desperate for any kind of income and would take
sure.
any kind of ads.
generic, like
It is
MMO
entirely
layout.
Yeah.
autoplay. You don't do anything. You just click level up. You get extra items. You spend money. You watch it play itself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I made a video called Worst MMO Ever, League of Angels.
Yeah.
Because I
Right.
thought this may be the worst game I'd ever played.
Right.
And while I was playing it, they released the sequel, League of Angels Heaven's Fury. And I thought, well, I've got to review that one now. So I made a video called Worst MMO Ever, League of Angels Heaven's Fury.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I realized, oh,
yeah,
no,
There you are. There you are
there
right
I am,
now.
still there. That's a series. I've made 2 videos now.
Yes.
How bad can it get?
Both are the worst ever.
Both
Yeah.
are the worst ever. So
Yeah.
then I started adding a question mark to that title saying, is this the worst ever? And that began my journey to find every MMO I possibly could, play it through and see, is this the worst game? And it's taken me from some absolute junk all the way up to games like Star Wars The Old Republic, The Elder Scrolls Online. I've discovered Guild Wars 1, which is now one of my favorite games. And I've been able to journey around these dying online worlds with 1 or 2 players, almost as digital archaeology.
Right.
And that's what supported my main channel for 5 years.
I mean, banger title, I will say, for
Thank
a
you.
series.
So, like, if you get a game like this, how many hours do you give it to, like, get a proper,
I think that can change depending on how many games I've played and what the game is trying to be. When League of Angels starts, it literally gives you the most powerful weapons, most powerful items. You run into a boss, you kill it in one hit, you run to the next boss, because it's just meant to be digital visual noise that you leave playing.
the video on the
while,
side.
Yeah, while
Yeah.
you do
Yeah.
nothing else. I mean, people describe me
The
as
second monitor MMO.
People describe me
Yeah.
as second monitor content, so I have fully leaned into that. You don't watch my videos; you have them playing on the second monitor
sure.
while you're
Right.
doing something else. So I've discovered that these video games will tell you very quickly what they are trying to give you, and it depends how long you want to experience that for.
yeah. So,
Idle MMO? Is this a thing?
Yeah,
There's
without a
idle. What?
I mean,
Idle games-
there's lots of idle games.
I know the idle games. Idle MMO.
It's absolutely huge. There are adverts for it. There's an entire genre built up around it. You start playing the game. You will kill all the bosses for the first 20 or 30 minutes, and then you will hit a boss that keeps killing you until you level up. And you can watch the game grind itself for 2 hours to get the power, or you can open your wallet.
Wait, so
and
where?
give it
So,
some
okay,
money.
so I get the concept of it being like basically an idle dungeon crawler type of game, but like, where does the MMO aspect come into it?
Oh, you've
Like, how
opened
do
up
you
a bag of can of worms
like
there.
how do you
Yeah.
like you know, because in games like RuneScape, right, there's like that whole element of like you can talk to other players, you can interact with them, do all
Yes.
sorts of different things with them. How do you do that in a game that plays itself?
That's a very good question. So I'm glad you brought up RuneScape. RuneScape is one of my favorite MMORPGs.
RuneScape
Yeah, it's
too.
my
I was
favorite.
actually hosting RuneFest, the RuneScape convention in
Oh, shit.
Yeah, back in the UK a couple of weeks ago now. Really good, guys. To be a RuneScape player
Right.
from a kid and then to be hosting the convention was
cool.
absolutely
That's fire.
insane. It was
Yeah. What a
super,
journey.
super cool.
Yeah.
I know, it was absolutely amazing. Inside, the butterflies the entire time while I was doing it.
Hell yeah.
But the argument, what is an MMO, has been raging for the last 10 to 15 years.
Right.
Yeah.
How many people do you need to be considered massive? If your game only hosts 20 people per kind of town or area
Yeah.
or zone, even if you have 1 million players, if you're only interacting with 20 or Is it massive if you can team up with 5 people? What about 500? What about 5,000?
I always thought of MMOs as more of a feeling in the game as opposed to like the
It's a
number,
vibe.
right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
The game,
Yeah.
it's a vibe. The problem now is that the label MMO has been taken by almost every
anything
single game
online.
developer
Yeah.
who wants their game on Steam to trend on every single tag.
Right.
So they'll
Right.
say, yes, of course, this 5-person
MMO,
shooter
yeah.
is an MMO. And we'll say,
Right.
well, you don't pass the vibe check on that one. That's what
Yeah. So RuneScape's been your ride or die since the start. It's been like your.
I love
your main-
RuneScape. The adventure of RuneFest was absolutely incredible. And the people that I've met who also play RuneScape
Yeah.
it's opened up an entire social world to me. I've met so many people who I've admired for so long, people whose content I've discovered, who've become good friends over the time. And then games like The Elder Scrolls Online, games like Guild Wars 2. You mentioned earlier that people do nothing than just play their MMO. I've been very careful not to fall into that trap. I give a couple of hours to this, a couple of hours to that, a couple of hours to the other. You need
Yeah.
to be varied within it.
sure.
It's tough, but I know RuneScape. People who like RuneScape, man, it's.
Oh, they like RuneScape.
Well, there's the thing. The thing I've noticed that they try to convince me that they're doing it on the side and that it's a second monitor thing. And when I watch them, like, this is. Yes, it is second monitor for the 30 seconds you look away, but then
Yes.
you've clicked something else. So your string of conscience is constantly RuneScape.
So
Yeah.
RuneScape, and again, to get technical, RuneScape works on an internal system called the tick system.
Yeah.
Every 0.6 seconds, an instruction is sent either to the game or from the game. So if you click attack this enemy, you will start attacking it on the next available tick.
Right.
There is a gameplay style called tick manipulation, which involves playing the game, clicking every 0.6 seconds to send the exact instructions at the exact time. There is even,
Wow.
if you use the RuneLite client, an in-game tempo counter that beeps every 0.6 seconds to make sure that you can click at exactly the right
That's
time.
insane.
Oh my god.
Yes.
So it's like, so it's like the next available frame.
Yes.
You are
Yeah.
doing something
Absolutely.
different.
You can play it in the background if you want to. Or, here's an example. If you have 1 health point left and an enemy launches a ranged attack at you, that ranged attack damage calculation will be done based on the maximum health you currently have.
Right.
It will not be able to hit you for more than 1.
Yeah.
If you are able to eat some food after the attack has been launched, but before the damage has registered, that attack will still only hit you for 1 because it was calculated with that
Yeah.
being the maximum.
Right.
That is sometimes called tick eating. You have 1 health, the enemy attacks you, you eat food that gives you 1 health, taking you to 2, you take 1 damage, go back down to 1. As long as you keep doing that every second, you can beat some of the hardest bosses in the game on 1 health, and there are videos of that happening. I believe it's called the level 3 fire cape.
I want to see this.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
one thing that because I occasionally go down the RuneScape rabbit hole, the lore of RuneScape is crazy. Like the amount of video essays people make on certain things.
Rendy was the guy that did it. Absolutely mined for all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
possible content it can have.
I've seen a lot.
So these guys are phenomenally talented at working out exactly how much damage is going to come into them at exactly what second, what game tick. As long as you click at the right time and then
my
move
God,
and
these
click
graphics.
back,
Wow.
you will hit the enemy before they hit you.
He's level 3 doing this.
So you'll see what he's doing there is clicking on the prayers. The prayers are immunity from certain types of damage.
Right.
But the damage and the prayer only matter if it's calculated when the damage impacts you. But the prayer only drains prayer points if it's on for more than 2 ticks.
Right.
So if you can have your prayer active for 1 tick, avoid the damage and then deactivate it, you don't lose prayer points, meaning you can pray indefinitely.
I was such a dumb kid. I remember when I'd be like, why is my prayer running out so fast?
Yeah.
And I was-
But you have to click it every 0.6 seconds.
Holy shit! This
Oh my
this is
God.
so cool.
Am I the only
Yeah.
one out of the 3 of us who played RuneScape growing up?
No, I did.
You did too.
I was the only one who didn't play it growing
Yeah.
up.
I remember when I first got membership as a kid, and that was like life changing.
Yeah.
When I was like, oh my
You
god,
go
I
through
can
those gates and
finally-
suddenly all the armor opens up, all the weapons open
See,
up.
I couldn't convince my parents to get me.
Dude, that was
I
the,
was stuck behind the gate.
the first month of membership was the
waving.
longest,
Yeah, I was like, "Let me,
longest in
please."
my life, dude. I got so much done. But I remember that I got what's that? Everyone had this like ab armor that you got from
Oh,
playing
the
that.
fighter torso from Barbarian Assault, yes.
That took so long to get that. And then I let my little brother go on my account and he lost it. And then I was furious. So I quit. I quit.
Disinherit him immediately.
But because I can't remember how long it takes. I think it took me like a week to
Yeah.
get it. It takes so long to get the stupid ab thing,
Right.
Yeah.
which I don't even know if it was very good. But
it was.
okay,
It was because
my
I'm going to
kid-
tell
to
you
my
exactly
kid
why.
Self, I remember I needed this and the hat with the
The horns.
With,
The Nate's Knot. Helm of Nate's Knot. From the
yes.
Frenetic Trials quest.
this, and then he lost it all, and I was very upset. I was very, very.
Oh, no, I can understand. I'm hurting now with you just saying that. No, I'm hurting.
He wanted to borrow my account, and I was like, yeah, sure, man.
Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen, Pringles Boy here, because this episode of Trash Taste is sponsored by Cash App. Look, living in Japan and having family overseas, I've had so much trouble in the past trying to move money. Either I get hit with huge amounts of fees, honestly, it just takes forever for money to finally get transferred over. I'm sure you've all had similar as well, and thankfully this is where Cash App comes in. Cash App is a safe, easy, and fast way to send, receive, and transfer money to family and friends. How easy was it to get started? Well, you just enter your phone or email and some other basic information, and absolutely no bank account is needed. There's no more waiting around for days now. It's your money, so you shouldn't have to wait. And Cash App has your back. If you're about to send money to a sketchy account, then a scam warning will pop up. Isn't it nice to know that there's finally an app that actually cares about your safety and well-being? Plus, you can customize your payments to your friends and family however you want with custom text, stamps, or backgrounds. Cash App is fast, easy, and safe to use. So boys, what do new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash? For real, there's seriously no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code TRASHTASTE in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Big thank you to Cash App for sponsoring this episode. Back to the show.
Look, what we've got onto here is a really fascinating thing about video games, especially in the modern world, is we all played games as kids, but now we're watching people push them to their mechanical limits.
Yeah.
They're saying, can they do that? And challenges within video games have become a massive genre on YouTube.
yeah.
I've got a friend, a girl called Luality, who beat Dark Souls on a dance pad. Have you
I've
played-
seen that
Oh, I
video.
think I've seen the dance pad.
I've seen that
Beating
video.
Nameless King. So when people say, yes, I'm going to play a video game, okay, cool. What's the challenge? What are you going to do? What's the difficulty? I'm currently doing a Twitch stream called Dark Swoles, where I'm playing Dark Souls. I don't know if you've seen this. I'm playing Dark Souls. I've got a walking pad under my desk, so I'm constantly walking forward while I'm playing it. I've got a barbell behind me, and whenever I die, respawn at the bonfire, level up, equip an item, I spin a big wheel of fitness.
Right.
And then I'm either doing, push-ups, press-ups,
Why are you in
sit-ups,
such great shape?
bicep curls,
Oh,
shoulder
man.
presses.
Yeah.
I'm trying as hard as I can because I thought, right, I need to get fit.
Yeah.
Let's use Dark Souls, because everyone uses the idea of taking a video game and playing it in a way that is challenging, that's engaging, that's silly. Video games are something we all love.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing them through a different lens.
Well, it's kind of like the evolution of like becoming in terms of like a let's player or like a Twitch streamer. You have to make a challenge or content around it. You're not just playing a video game. You are making content, and it's always finding that new avenue or that new way to sell an order that they've maybe seen people play before, maybe an entirely new game. But keeping that interest in it.
I mean, that's also why, like, especially like in the past 5-10 years, like speed running has just become like,
yeah.
like so huge now. Like, it's like, I grew up playing this game and I just watched a guy beat it with his eyes closed, one hand in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you'll watch entire like Summoning Soul or people like Carl Jobs.
GOAT.
Yeah, we love Summoning Soul.
goat.
Who will say, right, I've played Tetris, but I've got no particular interest in Tetris until he says to me, do you want to know about the world history of Tetris? I'm like, yeah, I do. I want to watch
3.5 hours on
Exactly. Yeah. I am. Whenever a YouTuber uploads some kind of 3-hour video essay on a game that I've heard of, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch all of this.
Yeah.
There's Accursed Farms who does the Game Dungeon series where he plays old PC games. I will watch all of those easily.
right,
I have a 73-hour Morrowind playthrough on my channel because I was playing it on Twitch and then my editor just said, I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to take the end. Turns out it's quite difficult to upload a 73-hour long YouTube video.
Yes, it is.
How the fuck did you do it?
So what he did was he had a program that spliced together several 24-hour long videos and then just clicked upload and hoped.
So
And
it's up there, right?
It's up there right now. You can go to Josh Strife.
Wait, look it up. Josh Strife Morrowind.
Replays. I think there's channels rhyme. There's Josh Strife Hayes, Josh Strife Plays, Josh Strife Says, and Josh Strife Replays. But on Morrowind full playthrough, and there's also
Go back.
There was a full playthrough. of
73 and a
Fallout.
half hours. 3 days.
Yeah, it's a 3. I didn't realize that YouTube has a days counter on the video, but there's also a Fallout.
Wait, how does it? Because I've tried to upload like 20 hours and it like shits itself.
Yeah.
I will. my editor is a
gotta
guy
tell me
called
now.
Visa. He's lovely. I will pass on all the
Please.
details. and
Oh
we'll check
my
it out.
That's
God.
insane.
Yeah, there is a full. There's also a Fallout playthrough.
You
where,
had 400,000 views on a 3-day video.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The ad revenue was pretty good.
You know, normally when you go to sleep
Yeah.
to the video, you wake up and it's over.
Right. So this is exactly what's happened. People put me on the second monitor and
they
they
fall
play my
asleep.
videos and
Yeah.
they fall asleep to it. I have a friend, a YouTuber called Kadikarus. Kadikarus
he's
has
on those
started a
videos.
second channel called Caddy Sleeps,
Yeah, I've seen
where
that.
he's literally just taken his old videos, slightly lowered the volume, and people fall asleep to them. Amazing.
That's such 5
Absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. But yes, I am people's
I mean,
sleeping content.
sleep content has just become like a big fucking boom in the massive. I don't know. It feels like massive. It's become massive in the last few years. I remember someone uploaded like 6 hours worth of American Dad content on YouTube. I don't know how
Yeah.
they got away with it, but Sydney's been falling asleep to American Dad because it's
What?
a 6-hour compilation of American Dad clips.
Is American Dad the kind of show
Why
that
would you
can
want to
fall
fall
asleep to?
to American
I
Dad?
people can fall asleep. I think
It's
you
a
don't
comfort
understand.
show.
People can fall asleep to anything as long as it's a 6-hour long video, right? This is something I've found out.
It's a comfort show. People want content on that they know that they know
Yeah.
they'll enjoy, that they don't need to
Yeah.
engage with. For me, it's Star Trek: The Next Generation. If I need something on in the background while I'm doing something, The Next Generation's going on. People do it with Breaking Bad. People do it with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's just there's a level of kind of parasocial attachment to the media itself that makes people feel comfortable.
I mean, I laugh, but I would probably do it to like the first 5 seasons of Simpsons, you know?
yeah,
that's what it
exactly,
was.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like I would do that. I have done that.
And
actually.
then you'd find a 3-hour video of Simpsons that
Yeah.
you've never
It
seen
was
before.
like,
and I'm
all
like,
right.
yeah, I am going to watch this.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this.
This feels like that joke of one more video before bed. The Josh Morrowind.
Look at the comment. Look at the top comment. I'm pretty sure the top comment is
One more
it's my
video.
party and I get to choose the video. Or something like that. So yeah, the
Wait,
top
scroll
comment
down,
on that.
guys. Scroll down.
If you can scroll down to
Yeah,
the comments
scroll
on that
down.
video. Just one more
Just
video
one
before
more.
bed. There we go.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my goodness, the Brazilian aviation joke. So let me
how
give some
did that
context to
start?
that.
Yeah.
I got messaged by a guy who works for an industry within the Brazilian aviation industry. I think his job is translating blueprints for planes from one international standard to another. He has just a
Okay.
system that does this. He's discovered that his PC shuts down after about 8 hours unless there is something playing on a media player. And my worst MMO series was the longest playlist he could find that looped. So he plays that while Brazilian aviation industry technical schematics are being translated from one thing to another. So he messaged me on Twitter and just said, just so you know, Josh, if you ever take your content or channel down, the Brazilian aviation industry will suffer. He messaged me a couple of months ago saying, hey, just so you know, I've now got a new job. I now work for YouTube, but it turns out there's the same problem. So my videos play on a random monitor in the YouTube offices just to keep the monitor on. That's my contribution, you know?
I mean,
Wow.
that's such like an engineering solution.
It
If
is.
it works,
Yeah.
it works.
works.
There's
you know?
nothing more permanent than a temporary solution.
I need to now upload 70-hour videos.
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I
for
guess
fun.
so.
I mean, Josh,
Yeah.
if you look up here, you can see this is not
yeah, no,
a
that's great.
professional piece of work.
It is.
This is something that we have done. And
We
this
just
is
threw it.
a temporary piece of work that we said, we'll fix it,
not fixed it.
eventually.
No, you don't
It's-
need to. It's doing its job. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
it's
perfect.
been
This
almost
is
5
fine.
years now.
This is absolutely fine. There's nothing more permanent than
Yeah.
temporary. But if you do need a 70-hour-long video, Final Fantasy XIV's got you covered.
Oh,
you could
God.
play that for 70 hours.
Shit, I might have.
But you wouldn't really understand the game until you played it for 700 hours. So.
Yeah. You
I can't wait
got
to see a 2-week-long video from that.
you got to step it up, you know.
So don't worry, YouTube, I got you now.
yeah.
So the main channel was fantastic. It was really satiating my desire to create content. It was paying the bills. I was enjoying doing it. Then the Twitch streaming was allowing me to stay active and actually talk
Yeah.
to people, engage with the fans. But even MMOs get a little bit tiresome after a while. So I started a second channel called Josh Strife Plays. This was just to give me a mental break from MMORPGs. I wanted to
Yeah.
play classic games. I think the first video on there was me reviewing the old Command and Conquer games, which had just been rebooted for PC. And then I thought, hang on, this is going to give me a great variation. So the Josh Strife Plays channel is now Kingsfield 2, Tenchu, I've replayed
Yeah.
Oh,
Chrono
you played
Trigger.
Golden Sun?
Golden Sun,
I
hell
fucking
yeah.
love Golden
I
Sun.
hadn't
dude.
played it before, so people said to me, amazing combat
Such a good
system.
game.
So clever. So I've now been able to work with the company GOG, or Good Old Games,
Yeah.
on their kind of Dino Crisis 1 and 2 reboots, on the
hell
Soul
yeah.
Reaver remasters, on the Tomb Raider
played
remasters.
Croc?
Croc. Argonauts.
yeah.
So Argonaut Software have remastered Croc, and they messaged me recently
really?
saying, "Hey, do you want a code to play Croc?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "That's really kind of you, but I've
Already
not
played
got
it.
enough time right now." I've already completed it, mate. So yeah, we did
Medieval. Oh, I want to play
all of
Medieval.
them.
Well, when you came in the office and you said I haven't had a holiday in 6 years, looking at your
No, it's true.
your video history, I can kind of understand why.
6 years ago was when I think I really started taking YouTube seriously. I was able to
Right.
move away from my retail jobs, my entertainment jobs, my acting jobs, and just do YouTube and just do Twitch. And I've been very fortunate, very lucky that a lot of my friends and family have supported me in doing that.
Hell yes.
And after finding the success that I've found, I was able to buy a house, which is an... I know, right?
Yeah.
That is the flex.
Congratulations.
That's the flex right there.
That's how you know you made it as a millennial.
Yeah.
It was difficult explaining YouTube to the mortgage advisor. He was like, "So what do you do?" I'm like, "I make YouTube videos." She's like, "Oh, that's cute. What do you do?"
You just see the interest ticking up
Yeah,
as you're
exactly.
explaining it. You're like,
Slowly there.
we were going to give you 2, but now it's 10.
Yeah, no.
Mm.
So after that success, I kind of sat back and I thought, I need to find a way to slightly compartment the burnout that a lot of YouTubers will go through.
Sure.
I'm going to go to Japan for a bit.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
Amazing country, absolutely stunning. Met up with Mother's Basement a couple of days ago. Lovely guy, had a drink with him.
Yeah.
Met up with one of the, I think it was the communications director for Pal World.
Oh,
he's
wow.
a fan of the video, said, "Hey, if you're in Japan, come
Oh,
and hang out."
nice,
That was
nice.
super cool. And I think I messaged you guys about 4 days ago as a
Yeah.
joke
Yeah.
on Twitter, being like, "I'm in Japan if you are." Straight away saying, "Yes, we're free."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was
yo,
beautiful.
shit,
It was
turn up.
kind of just worked out because I'm literally flying away tonight. So this was like our last recording session for a while. So when you hit us up, it was like
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Hey,
oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Actually, that works perfectly.
Serendipity,
for-
it worked perfectly.
And also,
Exactly.
we were like, when are we ever going to get an MMO extra on the show? And there you go.
Curious because you've said a little bit about your background. What kind of background do you have? Is it like an acting background or like?
So I was born into a very working class background in general. My dad was a policeman and my mother was a civil servant for the UK government. And I think she unfortunately lost her job during the massive reshuffle about 20, 25 years ago. And then she's kind of bounced around from a couple of things, but they always, they did right by me and my brother. And I just wanted to be an actor. That's
Right.
not a thing in our family. It's never been. In fact, I remember vividly, we used to have a VHS with a couple of copies of GoldenEye, the old James Bond film.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
I would
yeah.
watch GoldenEye, Pierce Brosnan, endlessly.
Yeah.
And one day my mum walked into the living room and I turned to her and I said, "Mother," in my very kind of middle class accent, "I want to do that." And she looked at me really proud and she's like, "You want to be a spy?" And I'm like, "No, Mother, I want to be Pierce Brosnan." And then I just wanted to act. So
Yeah.
I did the kind of school drama club. I went
Right.
into all the acting jobs I possibly could. I was a martial arts instructor for about 3 or 4 years, which would put me in front of people. Then I was a
was
civilian.
this part of the acting thing
No,
or
so
just something completely
I think my
separate?
mum just wanted to get rid of me for a few hours every week, so made me learn karate, as everyone else can do. She's like, "Just go over here." And
Yeah.
my instructor pulled me aside and said, "Hey, I need you to teach teachers and kicks."
Right.
Right.
That's where I got my foundation and my grounding for teaching and for engaging. And then from there, I went on to work with the Royal Navy for a little bit as a self-defense instructor. That was super fun. I was never a commissioned officer. I was just a civilian contractor for them, but
Right.
super cool guys to work with, really good fun. Then I decided to go to university and study acting, thank loans.
Okay.
My main plan to pay that back is to die. That's what it is. And then from there, I was able to find small work in theatre, small work in film and TV.
Right.
And that kind of pushed me now into the entertainment and the education world.
And now you play MMOs.
And now I play MMORPGs as a
Hell
living.
yeah.
It's an interesting life. It really is.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so colorful.
It's definitely exposed me to what I would call the more extreme fringes of the video game community.
Right.
So I put a video on recently where I ranked 250 MMORPG games.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Wait, I mean, sorry, have you played all of these?
most of them, yes.
Okay.
Not all of them. If we go to Josh Strife Hayes, it should be one of the most recent videos
How
there.
long is this video?
That video
3
is,
days?
we'll find out. It's the Josh Strife Hayes one, and it's the on nearly 2 hours. So what I did was I said, okay,
Jesus.
I want to rank every single MMORPG, but I don't have time to play all of them. So
Yeah.
what I did, in fact, if we let this play through for a second, you will see me holding up a sheet, a physical printed paper sheet.
Yeah.
Right.
What I did was I found every single MMO tier list, top 10, review, video, publication over the last 20 years. And then I kind of conglomerated all of that information into a massive chart
Oh my god.
Jesus.
where I weighted every single possible video and every position of each game within that video. So if the if the video I was watching said, top 10 MMOs, the MMO in position 1 would get 10 points, position 2 would get 9 points.
I see, I see.
okay.
Yeah,
And then all those numbers, spent weeks adding it all together and managed to scientifically, mathematically rate 250 MMORPG games from worst to best.
And did I'm obviously not going to ask what the best one was because people can go watch the video, but like, what did, mathematically, the top 10, was it also kind of reflective of what you thought was
Yes,
like the
without
top
a
10?
doubt. So mathematically, it's a terrible idea to do this. My methodology was awful. People
Yeah.
messaged me saying, Josh, I'm a mathematician and you're wrong. And I'm thinking, I'm not a mathematician and I know I'm wrong
Yeah.
watching this. That's
Yes.
how bad this was. But yes, so what's happened is over the last, I'd say 10 years, MMORPGs have really pushed into the mainstream, which means there was simply more data available for the last 10 years. Games like Meridian 59, which is the first 3D MMORPG, games like EverQuest, which completely changed the genre with its battle against Ultima Online. These are titans of the genre and they're super important, but they're not popular now. So there
Yeah.
were simply more videos comparing World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy XIV than comparing the island of Kesmai to Tibia.
Right.
Right.
Tibia.
I know
Oh,
Tibia.
God.
Tibia is, I think, one of the longest running, still active MMORPGs. It's
Yeah.
still going. You can still download it, still play it. Some of the original people are still there.
Yeah.
One of the longest running
I
games.
remember I played this for a little bit when I was a kid.
Annoyingly, it's not the longest running social MMORPG, and that's a bit of an embarrassment within the...
No, not that Tibia.
No.
What's the longest running?
This is a bit of an embarrassing fact within the
Okay.
MMORPG space, but as
Right.
we've got Google in front of us, I'm going to ruin your search algorithm now.
Okay.
Could you search for a game
Oh.
called... I'm not even kidding.
Whoa.
Furcadia.
No.
This is the longest running MMORPG.
Furcadia is... Whether it hits our modern parlance for MMORPGs is debatable, but it is the longest running, still socially active online game.
96. So it's almost 30 years.
I believe it was in the
course.
Guinness Book of Records for being
Of course, it's the longest running.
longest running. It has.
Oh my god.
That's
Respect.
something we try and sweep under the rug pretty.
Respect.
pretty
Respect.
quick.
You know, shout out to the furries, bro.
It's the furries propping up so many parts
They are
of
dedicated.
society.
After working
Yeah.
on the internet, I realized that it is 90% furries.
yeah,
that's what it was.
Of course, it's always the furries.
I was at a convention recently, and there was like an IT convention in one place, and then a furry convention in another. And it took me a while to realize they were the same convention. It was just all the IT guys were like, I see what you're into. Okay, open up society.
Everyone here's from Seattle.
Yeah, it's
What the fuck?
I've got friends from Seattle that were there.
It's almost a rite of passage.
Well, it's because you need that kind of income to support the hobby. You know,
Of course, yeah.
No, I've had friends that actually make fursuits as a living, and they are incredibly detailed and remarkably expensive. How did we get here?
And incredibly rich, I assume.
Yeah,
Furcadia.
and
Yeah.
all MMO discussion eventually devolves into this.
So what's your
unfortunately.
thoughts on Furcadia?
You know what? I've not played
good?
Have you
Furcadia.
played this one?
So I don't want to be on every FBI list. So I've decided to stay away from Furcadia. There's just a Twitch streamer. There's a couple lists that you're put on straight away. I
Yeah.
thought I'd stay away from this
So
one.
there must be some MMOs that you're like, absolutely not. This scares me, or the thought of getting
what
into this
is the most
like, too
cursed one?
daunting,
Yeah,
or-
Yeah, what's the
most-
most cursed MMO that you
yeah.
know?
Oh my
Was there-
goodness.
there's two different questions, I guess.
Oh wait, I thought that's what you were getting
No,
into.
no.
So
like,
the game that scares me that I won't play is Eve.
That's what
Eve
I-
Online.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
The gameplay, but because of the player base. And I think
Yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
that does play Eve will absolutely understand where I'm going here. They are a player base of spreadsheets. They understand data, they understand timing, they understand backstabbing. Eve, there is an official Eve PowerPoint, it's not PowerPoint, Excel. There
Yeah.
is an official Eve Microsoft Excel add-on. You can Google it. Because the game is just about spreadsheets. It's about
Yeah.
working out data, working out missiles, working out everything. It's an Excel add-on for it.
Microsoft
It's incredible.
Excel add-in Eve Academy.
Yes.
What the fuck is
This is how much data goes into Eve. So if I say something bad about Eve Online, they will find
You're
me
getting added to the spreadsheet.
straight, immediately straight away. As far as the most cursed, I've played so many MMORPGs that have, launched with the best intentions. They have died. I've played ones that have launched as complete scams and have then died. Massively prevalent. People saying on Kickstarter, give me £1 million, I'll make your ideal MMO, and then they just run off with it. But as far as the most cursed personally, it would be probably my favorite MMO that is now shut down, a game called Otherland. And if we can Google Otherland, I'll bring it up for you.
Otherland.
Otherland is a series of novels by the author Tad Williams. And they made an MMORPG of Otherland. I found it through a PC Gamer article saying this is one of the weirdest MMOs.
Okay.
Right.
And you might be able to find my video on the first page of Google for this. I played the first bit and it absolutely intrigued me. The visuals, the aesthetic, the idea, it was incredible. The story is effectively about billionaires who create a virtual world to ingrain their own personalities and brains into so they can become immortal.
Okay.
The MMORPG Otherland was touted as being one of the first billion-dollar revenue games. It, of course, didn't get there.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Billion
Exactly. It was meant to make $1 billion.
Right.
Okay.
It didn't. Its development was completely rushed. It was destroyed. It ended up dying halfway through before being finished. But the framework of what was created was uploaded onto Steam and held by a smaller company.
Right.
So after playing it for about 2 or 3 hours, I got so intrigued, I finished the game. I am one of the only people in the world who has gone all the way through Otherland because the mechanics don't work. There were no other all hell. Damage doesn't register. You get killed straight away by random off-screen effects. The game ended up deleting itself halfway through. I had to restart the entire process. But over about 6 months, I finished Otherland. And now the game is offline and you can't find it anywhere.
Oh, shit.
So the screenshots that I took of those final areas are now the only surviving digital artifacts of this game.
Jesus.
People have contacted me saying, hey, I want to try and recreate Otherland, but I'm having to use your videos to do it by watching.
Why would someone want to do this?
The digital kind of museum aspect of it, the preservation of video games is a massive thing in the gaming space. Ross from Accursed Farms, I think, is pushing his Stop Killing Games initiative. That I've worked with him a bit on that, and I very much support that. But the idea is these are worlds that someone made, someone programmed, someone created, and many people lived in for hundreds of thousands of hours, and now they're gone.
Right.
Walking around the empty cities of EverQuest 2. And when people say to me, oh, I loved EverQuest 2, I wonder what it's like. And they go back, it's like returning to your childhood home and seeing that it's now a parking lot.
Yeah,
It really is.
It kind of like falls under the banner of like lost media, you
It
know,
is.
where it's, it's not just MMOs. Like, sometimes you have like a YouTube video or something or a video online that you swear you saw as a kid, and then you try and find it, and then you don't know if it was like a dream or something, because it feels like it's stays in that ethereal space where you're pretty sure it existed, but you can't find any evidence that it actually happened.
It's weirdly liminal, the entire thing. I mean, there's a game called Secondhand Lands that we can Google.
I love these names.
Secondhand Lands. So I think it will probably be my video that pops up for it. Worst demo ever, Secondhand Lands. This was almost a Looney Tunes style, but adult video. So
I love the Comic Sans. But
there's death, there's gore, there's horrible kind of blood everywhere. The hospital that you go to is
Oh my god.
you go to a mechanic shop as a hospital, and there's blood everywhere. And the idea there's like a car raising platform that you get healed at. It's extremely strange. Some of these projects might just be a university project.
Right.
So when would you look at this? This looks like the kind of game that you would see a kid playing in the background of a Netflix TV show.
Yeah,
that's not a real game.
It's super liminal. But I play these for hours to see what they have to offer because someone made this. Someone is paying to host it. Someone wrote this. Someone coded this. This is someone's best attempt at making a game. And so I give it a fair go. I've always said critique systems, but don't critique people. The person that made this is not wrong for making it, but what they have made is wrong.
Yeah,
for sure. That's
a
fair.
very mature way of approaching
That's
this.
very fair.
Have you ever met like any players in games like this where it's kind of like desolate and it's kind of like meeting a person in the fucking desert and you're like,
Yes,
Wait,
without a doubt.
what are you doing here?
Yes, so when I was playing my 100 hours in EverQuest video, I played on the EverQuest official server. There are multiple servers for EverQuest, and some of them kind of bump you all the way to endgame.
Yeah.
And about 50 or 60 hours in, I was in a town running around. There weren't many people there. But then a guy ran past me as a frog. And I kind of just got chatting to him. Turns out he is also a brand new player. He's not done too much. So me and this frog became best friends for like the next 30 hours. We organized to log on at the same time because I couldn't take down a boss. He couldn't take it down.
Yeah.
We worked together.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the beauty of MMORPGs. EverQuest is the world's prettiest chat room. That's what this is. It's a chat room with an RPG
There's
attached
so
to
many
it.
fucking menus and
Yeah.
stuff open.
EverQuest is the menu game without a doubt.
Look
Jesus
at this.
Christ.
This is absurd. What do you even have open?
So right now, I don't know. But if I went back and played it
You'd be able to
slowly,
explain,
I'd be
yes.
able to work it all out.
Yeah, right.
So EverQuest is a perfect example of MMORPGs, and the reason they've started to die is they started as online social chat rooms. Meridian 59 being one of the first MMOs that was 3D, had the chat to it. We had games called MUDs, or MUDs, Multi-User Dungeons, which was a text-based game with no graphics. In fact, RuneScape started as a game called Devious Mud before having the kind of visual aspect added to it. So these games were never designed to be games that stand up on their gameplay merits alone. They were designed to be cultural, societal facilitators, where you and your friends got together for 4 or 5 hours and chatted, went to kill a boss, got some cool
Occasionally
items.
does something.
Occasionally, you
Right,
had
yeah,
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
time together.
For sure.
And now people don't need the social aspect because that's been taken over by things like Discord, by things like
Yeah.
WhatsApp,
Yeah.
by groups outside. The social aspect of an MMO is no longer novel enough to sell the genre.
Yeah.
20 years ago, if I said to someone, hey, you can chat to 100 people from across the globe at the same time, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But now say it, that's expected. We need a game on top of the social element, which is why the social element itself is slowly being phased out and dying because it is no longer impressive.
I can't recall, and perhaps you can correct me on this. I can't remember any recent MMO that launched that was popular.
I mean, other than Final Fantasy 14, I guess.
So
but-
the
Right, but that's, I wouldn't even, that's not recent, surely. That's quite old.
It's
Yeah.
quite old. So the
Yeah.
latest video on my channel, if we go back to the main channel itself, the very latest one is called Are MMOs Dying?
Oh,
And the video is
Perfect.
it's exactly the discussion. The
Yeah.
idea is, what does an MMORPG player want? That's me simply saying, Mum says it's my turn to make the Are MMOs Dying video because it's one of the most popular videos within
Yes,
the genre.
of course, of course.
What does an MMO player want? Game. They want a game with lots of content, lots of history, lots of bosses, lots of ideas. And unfortunately, that is best served by games that have already been around for many years. To compare this to TV, many, many years ago, if a TV show launched and season 1 wasn't very good, they might be given season 2, season 3, season 4 in order, course correct, to improve. Many people say, yeah, the first season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, not its best work.
Yeah.
First season of Star Trek The Next Generation, not its best work. But allowing it to exist and to grow and to patch its problems and to learn
Yeah.
makes it good eventually. Nowadays, if a modern TV show launches and season 1 isn't good, it doesn't get a season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To apply that back to MMORPGs, when a brand new MMO launches, if it isn't good, what happens is everyone just goes
cut.
back to the
Yeah.
established games. World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, Guild Wars, Elder Scrolls,
Yeah.
RuneScape to it. Modern MMOs simply don't have the ability to be bad for a couple of years
Yeah.
before they get good. If
Right.
World of Warcraft launched now, as it launched back in
Yeah, it'd be
2004,
jerk.
it itself might not succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeez, never thought about that.
Final Fantasy 14, especially.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
the fact that,
there
like-
is no way Final Fantasy that it had
Yeah.
the fucking
It's,
reworks that it
Yeah.
had.
I mean, it didn't initially.
Yeah,
That's why I had
yeah.
to remake it.
The idea of Realm Reborn is from the fact they blew the entire game up and kind of started again. And
Yeah.
there were so many interesting stories for that. Part of the history was that the development and the creation of the game focused on a couple of the wrong things. The games designers, the games companies didn't know what MMORPGs players wanted. There is a famous story, I can never work out whether this is true or not, of a plant pot in, I believe it's Final Fantasy 11, that has so many polygons on it. It is so detailed that if you have more than 4 or 5 on the screen, your game will crash. If the pot. It is
That's so awesome.
so MMORPGs are held together. It's flower pot or
Yeah.
plant pot. It might be in the game. Final Fantasy
Yeah,
MMO.
Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, try MMO plant pot.
Yeah.
Could be flower pot, but there is might be on the images somewhere.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff with that. A lot of MMORPGs are actually designed in the background around stuff that you would never notice. World of Warcraft is entirely held together by invisible rabbits.
What?
Okay, so
Can you
That's a
explain?
wild sentence.
Yeah.
World Rabbit. Again, you'll find it.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft needed a way to link certain events happening at certain times to certain player locations.
Right.
And they couldn't work out an invisible way to do it, so one of the easiest things they do, invisible bunnies that power WoW. So what they just did was put bunnies in there, make them invisible, and attach events to them. Happens because the bunny saw it happen. What? This is video games. Have you played Fallout 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you know when you use a train in Fallout 3,
Yeah.
that is a hat? Google this, you'll
Okay.
appreciate this.
Okay.
Fallout 3, it's either New Vegas
this is,
or Fallout 3
The stuff
train.
you're saying makes me like
train
question
hat.
if I understand
Right.
English or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
This reminds me of League of Legends.
How do you teleport a player in Fallout 3 when you can't just immediately remove them from the world and replace them into the world? Well, it found out one of the easiest ways they could do it was by putting an NPC on the track, making the train that you click on a massive hat on the NPC, and when you talk to them, you get attached to the NPC. That NPC runs really fast to where you need to get to, and then you end up there. So the train movement in Fallout 3 is an NPC with a Metro hat.
That's crazy.
That's how it works.
That's so cool though.
That's how it works. It's designed around just saying, right, can we make this work? Will it work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many with the retro channel.
So funny.
There are so many things I've discovered with the retro channel about how games do and don't work. Many old PC games actually tied the speed of the game to the speed of your CPU in your actual computer.
Right.
The problem with this is when they were used, so the game ran at the correct speed. Now, if you try and run an old game like King's Quest on a modern PC, it goes lightning fast because it's trying to keep up with your CPU, which is now lightning
Yeah.
fast. So old games were wild, man. It was the wild west of game design.
This is.
I mean,
So
I,
cool.
I still think even now you don't know what goes behind the coding for even like a lot of modern games until
Yeah.
you know developers or it's just unlocked somewhere.
It's the Team Fortress 2 Pineapple. Again, if you Google Team Fortress 2 Pineapple, I understand that without context,
It sounds like you're making shit up.
it's either pineapple or coconut. It's the coconut. That was the one. It's the
coconut.
coconut.
Right.
So there is a coconut image within the Team Fortress 2 game files.
Right.
If you delete this, the game doesn't work.
Like, what the fuck?
People
The fact that someone figured this out
people
as well.
don't know why.
I'm sure the coders don't know why. Otherwise, probably.
Or it's someone on the TF2 team that was like, yo,
It was
you know
a
what'd be
silly
really
idea.
funny?
It was just silly. So there are so many other old video ways of working. It's like how you can write bits of code to certain sections of video game memory, and it will use the same bit of memory for multiple things. You played Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yeah, of course.
Remember the missing no
Yeah,
glitch?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was simply about writing a thing to memory by speaking to the guy in, I want to say Viridian Forest, before Viridian
Yep,
Forest,
yep.
and then flying Cinnabar Island and surfing up and down.
Yep.
To memory because of your conversation with that man. And then when you next caught a Pokemon, it used the last known bit of data to work out the Pokemon's number. That number doesn't exist. And so
Right.
you got missing no instead,
Right,
which
right.
is why it created it. Video games are a wild west of design.
Yeah, I think
Right.
I remember that actually. And I remember going down a deep rabbit hole of that. And apparently, like, that's just one instance of that glitch happening. But depending on what you do right before you fly to Cinnabar Island, you can actually trigger versions of Missing No and like.
Yep. So you can catch
just, you
Mew.
just spawn like any Pokemon.
You can
basically.
actually catch Mew in the original Red and Blue games without using any of the Game Shark codes by talking to a specific trainer at a certain time and then walking up and down in a specific bit of
Yeah.
grass because the conversation sets a flag to a value
yeah.
and that value is then used when you next run into a random Pokemon. But all this stuff is what I have discovered by reviewing retro games and playing too many MMORPGs.
Do you even get bored?
Without a doubt. So we don't even know what an MMO is. My
Right. Yeah. Like that
greatest
style
guess.
of-
Yeah.
My greatest guess is it's a game with fishing. That's it. That's as
It's a
brief
game
as
with
far as
fishing.
it's a game with fishing.
Shit, that's
RuneScape
like-
has fishing. Final Fantasy 14 has fishing.
Yeah.
Warcraft has fishing. It's the connecting narrative. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
You
It's
always
like
have to
all
have fishing.
JRPGs now as well, man.
Yeah, you
Like-
gotta have fishing. You've gotta have fishing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine after, because you've played so many MMORPGs, the thought of like having to sink 100 hours into potentially something that will just absolutely bore me the entire time. And then 100 hours, I have to
It's
then
the
edit the
editing.
video
Yeah.
That's what
about
people-
the 100 hours.
That's what people do not get. And this is why I don't. I've let other people edit my videos before a couple of times. I've got some
Yeah.
editors that I work with.
Yeah.
But when people say to me, okay, here's 100 hours of footage, here is where I want you to put every bit of footage for every bit of script and every bit of thing, it's quicker for me to do it. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
that's
quick. I
fair.
know
Yeah.
exactly what's going to happen at what point, so I'll just do that. So when people say, oh yeah, playing 100 hours is nothing, it's difficult, but you can do it in 10-hour days over the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Again,
to
you
make
make
it work.
that sound easy.
Yeah.
I make it sound normal because unfortunately within the kind of gaming sphere I'm in, it's been normalized. Someone will look at me and go, oh, you're only playing for 10 hours a day, you absolute casual. Play for
That's
12
true,
hours a
true.
day, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you grinding the entire time?
You don't need sleep.
But the reason that people watch my video to play the
No,
game
no,
for 100
no,
hours,
I
but
know.
they do want to know what
You
happens.
suffer so
Yeah.
they don't have to.
Exactly, which
Yeah.
is why there is a YouTuber called Grand Pooh Bear.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
Grand Pooh
yeah,
Bear, he
yeah.
plays the old classic NES games. I love his stuff because I don't want to finish Turtles on the NES.
Yeah.
No.
But I want to watch someone finish
Yeah,
Turtles.
yeah,
on
yeah.
That is the area that I'm in. People don't want to watch bad anime, but I forced myself to watch all of, I think it was called Gibiate.
Oh yeah, Gibiate.
Oh,
Yeah, it was terrible. It was
Chibata.
absolutely terrible,
Yeah.
but I was morbidly curious for how bad it can get. And halfway through, I
Out
think I
of all
really...
the anime you chose to watch,
I
that
know.
one?
Right, so
Are you trying to live your life consuming only the worst things for you?
that's what I realized halfway through watching Gibiate. I was watching this going, I'm only doing this because I'm curious as to where it goes to, but I've
Yeah.
not watched Evangelion. I could go and watch that instead. Since I've been in Japan, I have watched all of Evangelion
Hell yeah.
except the movies, the OVAs.
Oh, the new ones?
Haven't seen the end of Evangelion. Haven't seen the new stuff either, but
Oh,
I've
okay,
seen the
okay.
26
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah.
It was good.
So
I
you've
enjoyed
seen,
it.
So you've seen the OG.
Yeah.
But you've seen
Yeah.
Gibiate.
Yeah, I've
You've
seen
seen
Gibiate.
this, which I
Why
remember
did you
is
watch
basically the shovelware of
It's
anime,
terrible.
I guess.
Yeah, it's what I've always described Gibiate is. This is what JoJo must look like to people who hate JoJo.
Yeah, the problem is because I've played so many crap MMOs, I kind of felt at home. Like I was watching it going, I feel comfortable
that's-
here.
I
That's
get it.
not
No, I
good,
get it
Josh.
because I've slowly started to turn into the dude that watches all of the terrible anime. I mean, I did a video where I watched the 100 worst rated anime.
No, see, people want to watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people love that video because it's like, I'm glad you did it and not me.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I'm in the position that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
People don't want to play through these massive. If a new game releases, a new RPG, and it says this game's 200 hours long, that's no longer impressive to me. If a game comes along and says, hey, this is 6 hours, but it's good. Good. Stick it on my PC. Someone said to me, oh yeah, Soul River 1's only 6 hours. I'm like, you shut your mouth. It is 6 perfect hours. It is exactly what we need a game to be. That's what we need more of.
I mean, the one thing people don't have time, don't have nowadays is just time. You
Exactly.
know?
Yeah.
Time is the big
Totally.
one. And I think the MMORPG genre really exemplifies this with it exploded. World of Warcraft came out in 2004 and it absolutely exploded over the next, I want to say 10 years. So about 2014, we got the Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King. People still hold those as like the pinnacle of the genre. A lot of people who played it at that time were either in college or in school or in university or out of work, or they had jobs that allowed them the free time to do it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
now that player group is aging out. That player group is mid-30s, early 40s. Kids don't want to play MMORPGs because if you say to a kid, hey, do you want to play this game where nothing happens for the first 50 hours?
Yeah, it's
They're going to say, no, I want to go and play a better game,
Yeah.
a faster game, a good RPG.
I want to play
a-
Fortnite.
Yeah, I want to play Fortnite. I want to play Looter Shoot or something like
Yeah.
that instead. So the MMORPG genre has aged with its audience, but it's not kept up with the new, more modern audience.
Yeah. What's your opinion of gacha games? I'm so curious.
Yeah, that's true.
There is a
Are
weird...
those MMOs?
Are we talking the games like kind of Genshin Impact?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Genshin,
yeah, yeah.
Honkai, all the waifu games.
I think I've made a video on Genshin Impact called what was it? Legend of Gacha: Breath of the Waifu. I think I called it. Came out around the same time.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
Zelda
kind
came
of
out.
that kind of was its selling point when it
yeah, it
released.
was. It's anime
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's just on the main one. And I played that through. So I have been kind of very much exposed to the Western idea of MMORPGs, which is quite greedy, as in they must be free, there must be absolutely no cash shop. And
Yep.
if your game is fantastic, I might consider giving you a shiny penny. That's the kind of attitude that the gamers in the West have.
Yeah.
The Eastern values, from what I've seen, is I will go to work, I will work hard, I will earn money, and then if I want to spend the money I have earned on the game I enjoy, that is my way of supporting the game, showing my love for it. And instead of spending 10 hours in the game, I've spent 10 hours at work and then spent that money on the game for 10 hours worth of progress. People say to me, you
That's
shouldn't.
actually a good way.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
People say you shouldn't be able to give any money for a game to be pay to win.
Yeah.
If you spend 100 hours playing a game and you get a good item, 100 hours, spend the money that I've earned from doing that on the same item and be at the same place as you. Should that be allowed? And the Western view is very much no.
Yeah.
The game is the game and no amount of money should be able to change that.
Yeah.
Whereas the Eastern view seems to be much more kind of healthy and around the idea of, well, if I spend my money on the game, I get better. There was the anime, was it Shangri-La Frontier?
Yes.
Yep.
There is within the anime itself, and
Yeah.
everyone's kind
Yeah.
of fine with that.
Boys, stop everything that you are doing because this episode is sponsored by Shopify. You probably are already aware of the Trash Taste 5-year anniversary merch drop. We've even got this special 5-year anniversary vinyl, as well as a bunch of other amazing, cool clothes that you can get at trashtaste.shop. But when we started thinking about releasing Trash Taste merch, we were like, hang on a second. Me and the boys don't know anything about running a business online or an e-commerce platform. Well, thankfully, Shopify
Game that will sate all my needs for the next 10 years. Whereas the Eastern view seems to be, there will be a new game coming out in 6 months' time, then go and enjoy this, then go and enjoy this. If you want to spend 50 or 60 quid on that game while playing, great. Do
Well,
that.
I actually think it's the opposite of that because what you've described is, I think, pretty much correct. But the big difference is that instead of there is a big cult following about what's in the gacha space. There's a big cult following about what games are you playing. For example, there's a lot of toxicity when this game called Wuthering Waves released.
Yes.
And there was a huge kind of rivalry between Genshin Impact and the Wuthering Waves player base, at least in the Western sphere. At least I'm not sure about the Eastern sphere. But it's kind of like a different kind of investment because players for let's say who have played Genshin Impact since launch, they have not just invested their time, but they have invested clearly their money. So there can be a lot of toxicity in terms of
at a horse in the
players
race.
jumping over. It's almost like, as you said, part of their identity. Not only because they've invested time, but now they have this extra investment.
There's more
of-
at stake.
But that
Yeah,
might,
yeah, yeah.
that might be perhaps an amalgamation of both of these points of
Yeah.
they are taking the Western outlook to I have, like you've mentioned, sunk the money in. I need
Yeah.
to get my value out of this now.
Yeah.
And I can't leave.
Well, what I find
Yeah.
it similar to is, do you remember the old school console wars?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like people had that identity around
I was
which.
I was Xbox. Man.
I was a Nintendo kid, you know.
I was PlayStation. So we've got the three.
The three genders. Yeah, they were fighting for their console they had stocks in the company.
Right. I mean, we would literally bully the other side for being like, I can't believe.
You back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
You're
Totally.
making fun of PlayStation 3 being
Yeah.
useless at the time.
And then you get to that age where you realize these billion-dollar corporations do
love
not
it.
give a
They don't
fuck
care.
about you.
They don't care at all.
Yeah.
Nothing
They don't
else.
care.
But a really interesting point you've raised is you've used the word investment. Invest
Yeah,
your time.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
value.
Yeah, that's what
Let's
they feel
take,
like.
Yeah, let's take another kind of idea. You played Final Fantasy X.
Yeah,
Okay, great game.
love Final Fantasy.
When you bought Final Fantasy X, were you thinking this is an investment for my future, or were you thinking I just want to buy this game and have a good time with it?
I want to buy this game every time.
Exactly, but the MMORPG and the gacha thing is I am not putting money in because I am enjoying the moment.
yeah.
I am investing within this product. being a
Yeah.
part of me,
Yeah.
a part of my life, part of my culture for a long time. The fact that we treat video games and the things inside them, like weapons and armor and cosmetics, as investments alone
Yeah.
is a silly notion.
Well, it's like it's like the Rolexes for teenagers.
Yeah.
They're just like, look at what I have. These are the 5 stars, the items, you know,
Yeah.
the legendary. It's just flexing.
It's the commodification of
Yeah.
your gaming time as almost a business investment that you must get back. When someone says, "Oh yeah, I've invested 100 hours of my time into this game," I'm like, "No, you've played it for 100 hours. I wasn't investing time.
Don't make
in
it sound cool.
I wasn't investing time in Simpsons Hit and Run or Burnout or Tenchu. I was
Yeah,
just
it is.
playing a game for a bit and then
Stupid when you put it
moving
like
on.
that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think people have this idea that your time, it's hustle culture spilling over into video games.
Yeah.
Your time is a commodity that you can make money from if you want to.
Yeah.
But the idea that you have to relax and saying, right, how can I min-max my efficiency within
Yeah.
this game to get the most back from it? I watched a video of a guy who played Skyrim while not running, just walking.
Right.
Walking through the game, it took him 3 times longer because it's much, much slower. Zen.
Yeah.
So meditative, and it was a totally different experience. That is personally, I think, a better investment of my gaming time than playing the game 3 times and not really paying attention to it.
I need a piss.
They're all peeing.
Wait, you guys okay with carrying on?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Brilliant.
Damn. Yeah, no, that was that was such an eloquent point. I'm blown away by how eloquent you are about all this
I
stuff.
have done a lot of talking on MMORPGs. I've consulted with a couple of gaming
You've
companies.
already, you know, the.
Oh, I mean, when we went to the Bulgaria thing, it was flown over to consult on the creation process of a new MMORPG.
Oh, wow.
And after they showed me what they have, and they turned around and went, "So, do you want to support us?" I said, "No, this is terrible. This is awful. What you've got's dire. You've."
They flabbergasted quite the awkward conversation.
Okay, it was brilliant. So what happened was that they flew me over. Lovely 5-star hotel, put me up.
Really?
There was
Okay.
a day in the mountains in a spa.
Delightful.
I was sat there, the lovely kind of snow-covered peaks in the distance, the massage, the drinks.
Yeah,
I played the
okay.
game for about half an hour. And they were like, "So what do you think?" And I said, "I'm going to be honest. You've pampered me, but you've not let me play your game." And they said, "Well, do you want to support our Kickstarter, our Patreon?" No.
Out to try and get you to then go and
The
talk about.
point of them getting me was because they wanted access to my audience and they wanted access to the kind of,
course, yeah,
influence that I
yeah.
had there. So when they said, "Do you want to support us?" The answer is no. I would have.
It was a beautiful 5-star
It was
trip, though.
lovely.
Thank you.
Don't get me wrong.
Appreciate
I
it.
loved every part of that trip except the game.
That's so funny. Oh god.
They haven't got me back yet. They've got a
Hey,
couple
look,
of other
you
people back.
got your massage. You
Look,
got
I
your,
got my, yeah.
You got your 5-star.
I got my integrity. That's what's important.
Yeah, of course.
No, the integrity.
You can always get another 5-star hotel. You can't get your
Absolutely.
viewers just
Absolutely.
back.
This is what I've said to my viewers so much. As soon as I say that a game is good when it isn't, that's when I lose viewer trust. I lose integrity. I've turned down so many sponsorships from so many companies because they've had bad games, and I've turned down sponsorships from good games because I don't play them.
Yeah.
And I don't. My voice wouldn't have any weight to it. I would just be lying to the audience.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
don't-
obviously as a game reviewer, I feel like it is quite tough
Yeah.
to.
Well, don't worry. The Morrowind video will probably give you all the money you need.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
Hello, I could retire now. as soon as we play Oblivion for the 80 hours.
Oh gosh, walking only.
Yeah, walking
How about
only.
crawling next?
So when I played Oblivion on stream, I played it entirely by punching. I didn't use any weapons, and I think the title of the series was "Fisting My Way Across Tamriel." So we just punched all the way until the very final
Oh my
boss, where you
God.
can just punch him to death, which was great. But the idea is, as a video game reviewer, my power, my influence comes in being trusted. Trust is a currency. I've had this discussion with a guy called Chris Wilson, who was at the time the CEO of Grinding Gear Games, who makes Path of Exile. I worked with the Path of Exile team a couple of times. They love it. You played Path of Exile at all?
I've played Path
I'll
of
send it
Exile.
across. Beautiful, brilliant game.
I only played Path of Exile 2, but
Great
I
game.
loved it the first
Really
couple
good
hours.
game. I love working with Grinding Gear Games. I had an interview with Jonathan, the guy that is the head of Path of
awesome,
Exile 2. He's a great guy. But we basically agreed that trust is a commodity, and you bank trust when you do things where the audience can see you being honest and genuine, and you spend trust when you take risks.
Yeah.
So if I say, right, I'm going to make a video on a game that no one's played, but trust me, it'll be good. And if people have seen my videos, they'll go, okay, I don't know the game, but I know that Josh can make it entertaining. I'll go and watch that.
Right.
If I keep saying every game that I come to is the best game, you should go and play this, #ad, eventually that has no weight and no value to it. So I try and push back as much as I possibly can on that. Whereas games that I'm not sponsored to say that I like, I will still say that I like anyway. In fact, I had a conversation with, I think it was Blizzard many years ago, and they said to me, we've got, X amount of money. What would we need to do for you to say that this expansion is good? And I would say, take X amount of money and make a good expansion.
Yeah.
That's it. If the game is good, I'll say it's good because that benefits me.
Damn. My strategy is to make it abundantly apparent when I'm playing a game that I do not fuck with it. Yeah. And then I'm like, I will
Without
take the-
explicitly saying
Well,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just- it just- I guess because my whole strategy's been I do expensive big projects require money. I will take the money and be like, wow, guys, we got to play this more offline.
Yeah.
This is so good.
Join my guild.
we have to play. I will not. I will stream this more totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's I feel I'm like shameful. Like, I
mean, the only game that
shitty games. I play shitty games.
The only game that I have got into recently since being here was because I saw everyone playing it was the Pokemon trading card game.
I'm deep into that.
Okay, so
he's
I have,
way
I have-
deep into that.
I have what you could say invested in
If you want
that.
to see, if you want to see the modifications,
This is the last message. We were talking about Kadikarus earlier. This is the last message that I sent to him of a card that I pulled and the lovely response that he
one you
gave
got?
me.
oh my god.
I've been trying to pull that Mew gold card for so long
Oh
now.
yeah, there we go. So we got that. So
Yeah.
I started playing that. I've seen people kind of play it on the train. I'm like, I'm gonna get involved in this.
I
really
can't.
good.
I'll get too addicted to that, and I will.
Yeah.
throw
I
my
am too
money-
addicted to it.
money- Yeah, I know.
But-
Yeah.
Money will be
I've thrown
gone.
an embarrassing amount of money at that game, and I do not regret it at all.
So
Oh
this is
my
a really
God.
interesting. You mentioned money. One of my favorite MMORPG facts. MMORPGs are monetized. You can get the cosmetics, you can buy the weapons in some of them, you can buy the kind of battle passes in the other, you can buy the expansions. FIFA Ultimate Team makes
Yeah.
more money
Yeah.
than most MMOs put together.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean,
I think we spoke about this one time. I was explaining how, like, to be a pro on FIFA, the amount I think the amount you have to spend is somewhere in the range of like I think it's like 50K to be, or it was something absurd, or
Jesus.
5K. It was like some absurd number to be able to have an ultimate team
Yeah.
that is able to compete.
Yeah.
wow.
It was some ridiculous. Maybe we can fact check that guy. Look it out. Like FIFA Ultimate Team require. I don't know.
yeah, I mean,
Income or
FIFA
requirements,
Ultimates have just got a insane monetization
I mean,
system that is
it's
just
the EA special.
it's just the EA money like cash cow, you know.
Did you see the whole thing with so it's not called FIFA anymore? Did you know this?
Yeah, it's called
They lost the FIFA license, didn't they?
yeah.
So, So actually, it was like FIFA just wanted more money from EA. And
Yeah.
FIFA, I mean,
Yeah.
FIFA's not a
want
good
them, yeah.
company.
No, no.
You know,
not at all.
FIFA, the most uncorrupt company
Yeah,
in the world that are not money hungry.
It was
at
the
all.
one time where somehow EA partying all
They
of
went, now
this.
slow down, guys.
Yeah.
This is too much.
But FIFA went, you guys are money grubbing a bit much. EA went, EA's told FIFA, you are money grubbing too much.
EA
here."
had that sense of pride and accomplishment
Yeah.
themselves, and they went, no, we're not going to be
And,
doing
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
They took the gamble, released the next what would have
which
been
is just
FIFA.
called FC now.
It's called
Okay,
FC,
okay.
and
Yeah.
they had no difference in the money made, and
Yeah.
nobody cared that the FIFA was dropped, and now it was probably the best business decision that EA's made in a
Far
very
out.
long time.
'Cause they don't have to pay FIFA.
That's
at all.
W.
It was like they had to pay them billions, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the
The,
li-
the license was absolutely huge.
Jesus.
But this is the example that I use when people come to me for MMORPGs and they say things like, our genre, our game is massive, it's super important. And I've had to say, look, you're existing within a bubble.
Yeah.
The MMORPG player base per game is a bubble. The Guild Wars 2 players think Guild Wars 2 is fantastic. The World of Warcraft players think World of Warcraft is fantastic. When you look at the entire genre as a whole, the genre compared to other genres is tiny. We are a niche
it is-
within a niche.
It is not the juggernaut it used to be.
No,
you
not
know,
at all.
You know, back
Yeah.
in the day, you talked about like the whole social experience, and now, like the younger generation have just gone to like other genres of games,
Yes.
you know, and whatever they can give. Like EA, obviously FIFA, massively popular. Obviously, anime games, gacha games, which is like I guess my specialty. That's like very popular in like the new generation, but. also things like Fortnite as well, and just
I think one of the biggest examples as well is that mobile phones are now the biggest video game console in the world.
Yeah.
And you can play a lot of gacha games on mobile.
Yes.
When we saw the footage of EverQuest earlier and you straight away said, oh my God, how many menus are there? You could not put EverQuest on a mobile, but you could put most gacha games on mobile, which just gives you exposure to a much bigger audience.
exactly.
There you go. That's a new challenge for you, playing EverQuest on the mobile phone.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Play an EverQuest on
It'll
a
be
mobile.
an hour of you just kind of like, just like, wait, I think I clicked the right thing.
Yeah.
So they have managed to port a couple of successful MMOs over to mobile. RuneScape is a good example. RuneScape and old school RuneScape, because they're two separate games, their mobile clients are fantastic. They are genuinely very good. I consulted on the RuneScape 3 mobile client, and it was actually a really interesting day. I sent them my review video, which involved me finding a couple of bugs and glitches.
Yeah.
And they sent back saying, we don't like this, but fine. So they appreciated that I found that. Talking about mobiles and talking about consoles, especially MMORPGs, mobile gaming makes more money than console gaming. Mobile gaming makes more money than PC gaming.
Yes.
And on the PC, the MMO is a small genre itself. It doesn't make as much money as other PC games, first-person shooters, third-person shooters, adventure games, that kind of stuff. So I think MMO sphere, it's very healthy for me to walk outside. For example, I've been in Japan for 3 weeks now. I have not seen a single World of Warcraft thing. I've not seen a figure, I've not seen a poster, I've not seen a game.
I don't think it was popular in Japan.
It's not popular over here at all. But when I exist within my MMORPG sphere, I get messages daily, hourly in some cases, from people saying it's the biggest thing in the world, it's absolutely global, everyone should love it, it's fantastic, why aren't you playing it more? And I said, because I don't want to, and because you're existing within this tiny bubble. We need to step out of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the gacha games ideas, you get people who are hyper enfranchised within the gacha games industry
Exactly.
who don't understand that there is another games industry out there at all.
Yes, exactly. And they have the gacha space has a very specific thing of doing, specific way of doing things, and a lot of the other gaming spaces just don't. But
how much money does it make?
But it makes a lot of money.
So much money.
It makes so much money.
Did you see that one of the most profitable games is this fucking Monopoly game? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
I think you talked about it.
Yeah,
Right?
it's fucking insane. There's this garbage Monopoly game that makes billions.
But people realize that you can give £1 or $1 much easier than you can give 1,000 or 10,000.
Yeah,
So games
sure.
companies said, right, if we are in everyone's pocket, literally on their phones, then let's
The
ask
game's
everyone
made $2
for
billion.
$1.
$3 billion.
Let's ask everyone for $1. See, in sales, it's sometimes easier to sell one massive thing to one person. Whereas in games, it's much easier to sell 1 million small microtransactions to 1 million players, which is why the microtransaction boom has happened. RuneScape 3 uses a lot of gacha mechanics. In my review of RuneScape 3, I go through their entire shop system and break down all of the currency. Oh, this is an entire separate conversation with MMOs.
Yeah.
When you purchase an item in a gacha game, you spend money to get a currency.
Yes.
Then you convert that currency into another currency.
I hate
Yes.
I hate
It's
this
done on
stuff.
purpose. It's
Yeah.
a psychological trick. It's what casinos use.
Yes.
You cannot track the conversion rates between multiple currencies. So let's say that you spend $10 and you buy 10 bits of gold. Then you spend 10 bits of gold and turn them into 35 moon shards. Then you spend 35 moon shards and turn them into 170 crystal bits. Then you spend 16 crystal bits to buy a shard of a sword. And you need 200 shards of a sword. How much does one shard cost? In real money
It's like a
value.
math problem.
You don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's the guy from the math problem that turns up with like 100 watermelons in his car. How many times do we convert this money? It's a psychological trick to distance you from the value of whatever the thing is. And
Right.
companies can then say, legally, they didn't sell you the sword shard because that would be selling power. They sold you the virtual gold. What you then did with that is a completely separate transaction. So it's not pay to win. It also takes away the value of the thing. The digital thing has no value. Only the gold does. But the gold never buys the things. The gold buys other currencies, which then buy the thing.
Do you think this is one of the reasons why newer MMOs are struggling, because there is such an expectation to monetize?
Yes, without a doubt. So games release with a special version of the game. They release. If you go to EverQuest 1 subscription.
Like what, like $2 a month or something?
Well,
or?
there's actually 3 different
Oh,
layers
God.
to it. So go to
Oh,
membership. So here's the thing you can do with EverQuest 1. Not only do you get stuff, but you can also enhance your membership with EverQuest,
go.
with these things here. So let's say that you want to be an adventurer. you get a 5% experience boost, and you have 10% more coin from killing enemies. That is an extra $3 a month. Let's say you want 2 perks, the Adventurer and the Challenger. Well, the Challenger perk gives you mercenaries gaining experience quicker, and you don't lose levels when you die. The Merchant gives you even more. So if you and I are both playing EverQuest, and I am paying an extra $5 a month for all those things, I have an inherent advantage. Is that morally wrong if EverQuest need to make money? Because people will play it for free.
Yeah.
But what's better? Taking the idea that it's a $5 game with a massive free trial, or taking the idea that is a free game with a $5 boost that you can play for. Because both those things are exactly the same, but one of them is reframing how you see it. Are you playing a free trial and then paying for the full game? Or are you playing the full game and paying for advantage?
Well, I think some people, they see this and they'll see the $5 a month, and what they see is commitment.
Yes.
And I think that's like in most things in life that scares people. They're like, oh, now I have to play X amount of hours. Whereas, you know, for free games, often they're like, oh no, just play as little or as much as you want. In reality, they're getting you in and sucked in, and this will make your life easier right now.
This is monetization within gaming, which has gone through a really weird cycle and ended up almost back where it started. As in, when games first started, one of the first games I think called Space War, and it was this idea of almost like a ping pong style tennis thing on an old oscillating scope. And then we got games like Pong, games like Pac-Man, and they went to the arcade, and you put more money in to play the game more. We had games like Time Crisis, where you would die at the second boss. Great game, but you would die. And then you put some more credits in. This was almost accepted. You put more money in to play the game for longer to get more lives. Then when we had the kind of home console revolution, games companies realized, oh, we can't keep dragging money off people. How do we make the most of selling our games? Well, we just make them really difficult, because a lot of people still rented games at the time. There was a thing called the Blockbuster level, as in the old rental shop Blockbuster thing on the NES and the SNES. They have a notoriously difficult second or third level. This was done on purpose to mean that you had to rent the game several times, which means Blockbuster wanted to buy the game in order to rent it out far, far more.
Right.
So we're still taking more money off people. Then we have the home console revolution with PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Games companies realize once they've sold the game, oh, what now? How do we get more money off people? Well, suddenly that's when battle passes creep in. That's when the idea of cosmetics creep in. It all started with the stupid Oblivion horse armor, which was when, if you Google Oblivion horse armor.
I remember this when this happened.
This was massive. It was the idea that you could spend an extra couple of dollars to get some armor for your horse in Oblivion.
Yeah, I remember seeing this post as well. Yeah.
And that was almost opening the floodgates for what could happen. And now we're in this position where when you purchase a video game, you don't own the video game. They're pushing games as a service. You are renting the idea.
Yeah.
And one of the worst ways this comes around, this is one of my personal pet peeves. Have you ever played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
Classic.
Could you please Google, I think it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. So what happened with this was, it might not be 4, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong with this. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 launched on disc. But what happened was, all the disc gave you was the rights to download the rest of the game from the server. So you had to have an internet connection to get the game.
God,
The problem is, those servers are now offline, which means if you have the disc, you only have level 1. You cannot get the rest of this game. It might be a different Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game, but the idea was you no longer purchase the data that has the game on it. You purchase a temporary license to access the data, which is super annoying. And the games industry is monetized to all hell and back. MMORPG players sometimes just seem extremely entitled with the amount of game they want for the amount of money they're getting.
Well, the thing about MMOs is that because you said it's like a juggernaut or the old days, that mentality of the same monetization system that worked back then is still with the same expectations without gathering in the new players that have another different set of expectations and what they are okay with in terms of like monetization.
I mean, the original games you paid by the minute, by the hour. You paid not only for the internet connection, but also for access to the games. There was an old game, I believe it was called The Island of Kesmai, one of the very first kind of text-based MMORPGs, that you would effectively have to pay per instruction you sent to the server, per word you sent, per click
like an
you did.
OnlyFans.
So, you want to go and raid this dungeon? Cool. It's probably going to cost you about £5 stuff.
But it was popular?
It was very popular because it was
1985.
it was new, it was different, it was strange. That's what it looked like on the far right. That is the more modern graphics. The extreme
wow.
old ones are the
Oh, the
ASCII
far right,
graphics.
far right.
The far right top.
Yeah,
the
that
ASCII graphics.
God, that reminds me of like Dwarf
Fortress.
Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So you would
my
pay per instruction that you sent to the server because your internet time was limited. In fact, MMORPGs, and that's one of the reasons that RuneScape really took off, a download. They required a game to be an EXE to be run. The browser game RuneScape didn't require a download, which was why it was able to take over school computers,
got into it.
library computers.
That's why I got into it.
Any public computer that blocked files, blocked EXEs, and blocked downloads could still run these browser-based games. Games like Adventure Quest and games like Dragon
Oh my
Fable.
God, Adventure
In
Quest.
fact, if you Google, I've made a video
the
on
first
that.
video I watched of yours was Adventure Quest.
So after I made the Adventure Quest video where I kind of finished the main quest of the game, the guy that runs Artix Entertainment, Adam Bond, actually reached out to me and said, "Hey Josh, really cool video. Got all the staff round to watch it. Wasn't any good Adventure Quest. Had a really good time." He then hand wrote me a letter of appreciation. I've got it in my office
that's
at
so
home,
sweet.
kind of propped up, and
That's
it's like,
so
thank you
sweet.
for doing this.
Aw.
It brought back a load of memories from when he was first making the game because I played some quests that he hasn't seen in years.
Yeah.
So it was almost a nostalgic trip. So when I question, I'm like, why is your game so inconsistent? Why from this screen is this different to this screen? Turns out Adventure Quest had no framework for how menus needed to look or where buttons needed to be or where colors needed to be. So every single screen
Yeah, I remember that. In the
was
video.
new.
Yeah.
And he was making it as best he could from kind of the previous screen.
It is like. It's like a ransom note at times of like mishmash.
Yeah, it really is. It's
menus and text. You're like, what is this?
I called it consistently inconsistent. That's what it is. Every single quest, every single idea is new and is different.
Right.
But games like this, games that we played as kids and experienced as kids, this is kind of my bread and butter on YouTube. I will sit down and say, right, I haven't played Tenchu 2 in years.
Yeah.
But since walking around
the
Japan,
time
I
of day.
kind of want to
Yeah.
play Tenchu 2.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get home, I'll launch up Tenchu 2, I'll play it through, I'll say, right, was it good? I'll critique it through a modern lens, and people want to watch these videos.
I mean, I think we want to see a. It's fun to see your childhood nostalgia be torn apart. Like it's fun to see it like actually be confronted with it. I'm sure you've probably played some games in your childhood that you've had fun memories of, and you boot it up, you're like, oh.
So this is a really interesting thing, actually, because I've tried to explain to people that it's okay, and this is something that MMO players push back against so much. It's okay to like something that's bad.
Yeah.
So when
totally.
I love the first Power Rangers movie. It's a terrible film. It's really the first Power Rangers, the first movie with Ivan Ooze. It is an awful film.
Right.
But I
haven't
love
watched.
it.
I haven't
man.
watched it
Okay.
recently. Damn, it's still
terrible.
like golden
No,
generation
but it's
for
great.
me.
Sit down, watch it. It's amazing. I love it. So it's okay to play something that's bad and say I had a good time. I think when people watch my
get to.
reviews, people watch reviews, people watch my MMO things, they almost want to feel validated that the time they enjoyed was good time.
Yeah.
Was well
We're so
used.
scared that we didn't like something
Exactly.
good.
And I can say, look, this game is bad, but I like it. And this game is not great. It's got flaws, but I like it. And if you like it, that's fine. It's a healthy attitude to have that MMO players just struggle with.
I think it comes with maturity. I think.
Yeah.
It really does.
I think it takes a lot of time to realize that you're a dumb kid.
I think with MMOs specifically, it's actually difficult to mature. You are spot on with this.
Yeah.
It is difficult to go through that mature process if you are playing the same game that you've been playing for the last 10, 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
and you've never been exposed to either outside opinions, different games, or different systems.
Yeah.
If you aren't forced to acknowledge the flaws in something, you almost blind yourself to it and just say, this is great.
tunnel vision.
It's tunnel vision
Yeah.
for it. It's okay to recognize flaws. This is how we grow. I recognize flaws in all my old videos, and then I try and grow from it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I think there's also this thing where sometimes when we're talking about nostalgia or like a thing that we really enjoyed as a kid, sometimes there's like fear to like go back and see if it's different from like the memory that you had, because
Oh, yeah.
you're kind of afraid that you're not going to get the same emotions that you felt when you first
Oh
experienced
yeah, because
this.
you go into it wearing rose-tinted glasses,
Yes,
right? And
yeah.
you're afraid, and you know you're wearing the rose-tinted glasses. And you're
Yeah.
like, I know I have to take these off, but I don't want to.
So I've got another really long video about MMORPGs where I discuss the inner enjoyment of a game. Let's say that you want to sit down and play, GoldenEye on the N64. Great game, really good game. But it's probably better if you've got memories of getting in some pizzas with your friends, sitting down,
Totally.
passing a controller